In September 2022, Hasselblad launched the X2D II, a flagship medium-format mirrorless camera that quickly earned admiration for its Scandinavian design and exceptional image quality. It looked like an art piece and felt like a sculpted tool. Yet despite its allure, the X2D was not perfect. Photographers who embraced it quickly realized that its biggest flaw, sluggish and limited autofocus system, could hold the camera back from fulfilling its potential. 3 years later, Hasselblad has unveiled the X2DII, a successor that on the surface may appear familiar but, in reality, introduces dramatic improvements that touch nearly every aspect of performance. This isn't just a refresh. It's an overhaul designed to modernize medium format and make it competitive with the fastest full-frame cameras while retaining Hasselblad's trademark color science and design philosophy. Having used both the original X2D extensively and now the new X2DII, I want to examine whether the changes are substantial enough to warrant an upgrade and whether the X2DII finally transforms Hasselblad's mirrorless system into a daily workhorse for professionals. The original X2D. A brief reflection or diving into the improvements. It's worth recalling where the first X2D stood. On paper, it was already a formidable camera. 100 megapixel BSI medium format sensor, 7-stop IBIS, industry-leading at the time, stunning OLED screen and EVF. Exceptional build quality, reminiscent of Hasselblad's legacy in aerospace and fine art photography. But its shortcomings were hard to ignore. Autofocus was limited to single-point phase detection, with no continuous AF or subject tracking. Low-light AF performance was inconsistent and unreliable. The lack of a joystick meant photographers had to rely entirely on the touchscreen to shift focus points. Despite firmware updates like face detection AF, the camera still felt behind the curve compared to Sony, Canon, and Nikon systems. The X2D ended up being a brilliant studio and landscape tool but an impractical choice for fast-paced, dynamic photography. The autofocus revolution. If there's one area where Hasselblad has listened to its users, it's autofocus. The X2DII introduces a fundamentally new AF system, and the difference is night and day. Continuous autofocus is now supported, along with advanced subject recognition and eye detection. Whether you're shooting portraits, street photography, or candid movement, the system finally locks onto eyes and faces with confidence. Beyond human subjects, the X2DII also adds vehicle tracking, a boon for automotive photographers. What's even more impressive is the arbitrary subject tracking mode. Half-press the shutter on any object, and the AF system will follow it across the frame. The AF point count has jumped from 294 to 425, expanding coverage and precision. Hasselblad also added useful modes like expand spot, wide, and customizable AF areas, which were conspicuously missing from the first model. In practice, this brings Hasselblad's medium format closer to parity with the Sony Alpha 1 or Canon R5 in terms of focus reliability, a remarkable achievement considering the sensor size. A redesign of usability, joystick, buttons, and screen. The original X2D's reliance on a touchscreen for AF navigation was elegant in theory but frustrating in real-world use, especially in cold climates where gloves made it unresponsive. The X2DII finally introduces a 5-way joystick, giving tactile control over AF points and menus. Its central click can even be customized, and directly beneath it sits an all-new custom button. Small touches, but transformative for workflow in the field. The screen, too, has seen a significant overhaul. While Hasselblad resisted the temptation to add a fully articulating display, the X2DII features a new folding OLED touchscreen that tilts both upward and downward without obstruction from the EVF. This strikes a balance between durability and flexibility, allowing for high and low-angle compositions with ease. The panel itself is brighter 1.4 nits and capable of HDR previews directly in camera. Combined with intuitive UI Hasselblad is known for, this makes shooting and reviewing images far more seamless. Even the body finish has changed. The new durable paint coating is designed to resist scratches, while the grip has been subtly re-sculpted for a more comfortable hold. These refinements may sound cosmetic, but in daily use they make the camera feel more professional and field-ready. Sensor and image quality. Familiar resolution, new possible-ish at first glance, the X2DII still offers 100 megapixels of resolution, leading some to assume little has changed. But the truth is more nuanced. The new sensor now has a base ISO of 50, compared to 64 on the X2D. This may seem like a minor technical detail, but it yields a significant practical advantage: expanded dynamic range. Hasselblad claims 15.3 stops, and real-world testing supports this. In a controlled test, an image underexposed by 5 full stops was recovered in Lightroom with minimal shadow noise and preserved detail. For professionals shooting landscapes, architecture, or high-contrast urban scenes, this means you can often capture the entire tonal range in a single shot, avoiding the need for bracketing or HDR stacking. The ability to stop down to f/32 also expands creative options for long exposures, especially when combined with the new ISO 50 base. In daylight conditions, this enables slow shutter effects without ND filters. Compared against the Sony A7 IV, which maxes out at ISO 100 and f/22, the X2DII can deliver exposures as long as 0.6 seconds handheld, capturing dreamy motion blur with crystal clear static detail. This doesn't just improve image quality, it fundamentally changes the type of work photographers can attempt without extra equipment. In body image stabilization, from 7 to 10 stops, the original X2D shocked the industry with 7 stops of IBIS. For medium format, that was groundbreaking, enabling handheld exposures up to 1 second. With the X2DII, Hasselblad has pushed even further, 10 stops of stabilization. This translates to 2.5 to 3 seconds handheld, a feat that once seemed impossible for a medium format sensor. During testing, I repeatedly shot to 0.5 second handheld exposures, all tack sharp. This wasn't a fluke, it was consistent across multiple attempts. For photographers accustomed to lugging tripods for long exposures, this fundamentally changes the equation. The IBIS system, combined with the new base ISO, positions the X2DII as perhaps the most handheld-friendly medium-format camera ever built. HDR mode and HEIF workflow. Another addition is HDR mode, available for JPEG and HEIF files. While RAW remains the gold standard for editing flexibility, HEIF files balance quality and efficiency, offering richer pixel data than JPEG but with much smaller file sizes than RAW. For commercial shoots where clients want to see polished previews instantly, this is invaluable. Pair it with the Focus Mobile 2 app, and photographers can transfer HDR HEIFs to tablets or phones in real time. This makes the X2DII not just a tool for capture, but a streamlined production device that accelerates client communication and review. LiDAR-assisted autofocus in low light. The X2DII also introduces LiDAR technology, similar to what DJI employs in its drones. By bouncing pulses of light off objects, LiDAR dramatically improves focus accuracy in low light or low contrast conditions. For photographers who struggled with the X2D's inability to lock focus at night or in dim interiors, this is a revelation. It finally gives medium format shooters confidence in environments that were once dominated by full-frame systems. Continuous shooting, from first frame to full sequencing. Of the most frustrating limitations of the X2D was its lack of continuous AF. In burst mode, only the first frame was sharp, the rest were effectively wasted. The X2DII fixes this decisively. In continuous drive with subject recognition enabled, every frame remains sharp throughout the sequence. While the camera is not built for wildlife or sports in the same way as a Canon R3, it now offers far more flexibility for movement-heavy genres like dance, fashion, or street performance photography. A new workhorse lens, 35 to 100 mm f/.824 alongside the camera, Hasselblad released the X2D 35 to 100 mm f/.824, a versatile zoom designed to complement the new AF system. At 100 mm f/4, it provides subject isolation and compression perfect for portraits. Autofocus is fast and accurate, with minimal hunting even in low light. Despite being a zoom, the lens maintains Hasselblad's legendary sharpness across the range. Its customizable control ring adds ergonomic flexibility, allowing photographers to adjust exposure settings directly. This lens might just be the most practical X2D lens yet, capable of handling landscapes, portraits, and still life in one package. Weight, battery life, and efficiency. The X2DII is 60 grams lighter than the original, roughly equivalent to removing 4 AA batteries. While not a huge difference, it improves comfort during extended sessions. Battery life has also improved by 9%, not due to a new cell but thanks to smarter power distribution. Even with the brighter 1400 nit screen, the camera runs more efficiently, reducing downtime in the field. Can it replace full frame? Perhaps the most important question, can the X2DII replace a reliable full-frame camera like the Sony A7 IV as a daily workhorse? With the original X2D, the answer was no. Its autofocus limitations meant that while it excelled in controlled environments, it was too unpredictable for high-pressure assignments. With the X2DII, the story changes. The combination of LiDAR-assisted AF, continuous tracking, world-class IBIS, HDR workflow, and dynamic range gives it a level of versatility unheard of in medium format. For the first time, it feels like a camera you could bring to every shoot, whether studio portraits, on-location advertising, or urban documentary work. Verdict: a genuine evolution. So, is the Hasselblad X2DII worth upgrading from the X2D? The short answer: yes, without hesitation. This is not a marginal update. It's a reimagining of what the X system can be. Autofocus is now world-class. IBIS is unmatched. Workflow efficiency has improved dramatically. And the subtle physical refinements elevate usability without compromising Hasselblad's design ethos. For X2D owners, the difference is dramatic enough to justify the investment. For those considering entering the Hasselblad ecosystem, the X2DII is the camera. The original should have been a genuine medium format tool that doesn't force you to compromise usability for image quality. Medium format has long been stereotyped as slow and deliberate. With the X2DII, Hasselblad proves it can be fast, flexible, and uncompromising. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a transformation.